right now there's an active investigation to a massive shootout that occurred outside of one of these apartment complexes where a man ended up dead. That's not misinformation. These are real problems.
Local officials in Colorado raising the alarm on Venezuelan gang fears after this video showing armed men taking over an apartment complex. Americans in communities across the country are feeling the serious impact of the crisis at the southern border, especially when it comes to safety. Let's bring in Chris Clem, retired Yuma Sector Border Patrol Chief. Chris, thanks for being here. I want to bring up this Colorado incident and the disconnect between what we just heard there and what we're hearing from the governor and his spokesperson. They put out a statement. They say, we know violent crime in Aurora went down between 2022 to 2023. Fully expect the data will show further declines for 2024. And the recent misinformation campaign threatens actual criminal investigations and could hurt the climate for small businesses in Aurora. What about that answer from the governor's office?
Well, first of all, Brett, thank you for continuing to talk about this topic. I want to address two things right there. That video is infuriating. It's disgusting. It shouldn't be happening in the United States, especially people that don't have the right to be here. As far as the governor's statement, that is the biggest misinformation campaign. They're not reporting the crime stats in major cities like they used to. And the fact that Denver and the state of Colorado is a sanctuary city, this is a pull factor that is creating this kind of environment for this chaos. People should not live in fear in their own homes, in their own apartment complexes and neighborhoods, especially people that don't have the lawful right to be here.
Here's the Aurora mayor about what his job is, what the locals' job is, and what the federal job is.
You've had these massive waves of migrants coming across the border that many of them crossed the border illegally, were arrested, asked for political asylum, were not adequately vetted, were released into the country. The city of Aurora, we did everything we could to quite frankly, keep them out of the city because it's not our problem. This is a federal problem.
And that's their point, is this is a federal issue.
Yeah, no, he's exactly right. This is a purposeful problem that has been created by this administration's failed policies of letting everybody in. You look at this particular demographic, these Venezuelan nationals. They're part of the parole problem that is bringing in 30,000 people a month that should have been suspended and just been started up again. You also have over a 25% increase in Venezuelan nationals being caught by Border Patrol compared to last year. This is a continuous problem. And this particular gang, the TDA, is making its way through Chihuahua as we speak, according to open source, coming through places like El Paso. And there's a known connection between the non-government organizations in El Paso as well as the state of Colorado. So they're just filtering into places like that. But Brett, we're talking about this Venezuelan gang. MS-13 has not been eliminated. We still have a problem. And this is all a direct result of this humanitarian outlook on all of this when it's actually about public safety and national security. We need to shut the border down. We need to secure the border so we can eliminate these problems or at least mitigate them so places like Aurora can live peacefully and not have to deal with this federal issue.
You mentioned that the movement from some of those countries is continuing and started back up. Vice President Harris, in that first interview, was asked about her role and going after root causes and what she's done in this administration as vice president. Take a listen.
Well, first of all, the root causes work that I did as vice president that I was asked to do by the president has actually resulted in a number of benefits, including historic investments by American businesses in that region. The number of immigrants coming from that region has actually reduced since we began that work.
Is that true?
Well, we've seen a little bit of a decline from Central America, where she focused her emphasis on. But let's remind people there's been 177 different countries that have come in illegally through this administration. And again, she's talking about future and day one things. There's things that she can stop right now, and she's not doing it. I mean, it's really interesting because she's talking about the future, and we really need to make sure that people get on board. And, you have a lot of Republicans out there that are talking, we're going to put, country over party. Well, if they don't get behind a president like President Trump and move forward with securing the border, this is going to infiltrate all the way across America at higher levels. I mean, if you don't put the safety of American people, American citizens and community first, you're going to have communism over chaos, you're going to over country, you're going to have chaos over country and crime over country. And it's playing out, and not just Colorado, but all around the country. She's failed because of the policies she's allowed to be implemented that is not keeping America safe.
All right. Chris Clem, we appreciate your time.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.